Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for March Comes In Like a Lion, Season 1, Episode 7. Alright, so Rei Kiriyama is sitting with the crush of Hina-chan.
Exactly. She has fled to the bathroom.
She has fled the scene.
Or, yeah.
Like, she might not even be there anymore.
It's true. It's true.
Like, it did not look to me like she was going to the bathroom.
Or, wait, didn't she say she had to use the bathroom?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, she gone.
Yep.
And he's left there to talk with this guy.
Yes, indeed.
Which will be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
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 Other than that, there's some other things coming up here, but yeah, that's gonna be the first thing on the list. So without further ado, let's get into it. Not starting off with the opening for the first time in like, I don't know, since the first episode.
First time in forever.
There we go. I was gonna say.
Yeah. This show really is so gorgeous.
So them prefacing the episode with the whole thing that he talked about in the last episode about half measures with regards to everything, and that he doesn't seem to have the desire to win, but it does hurt when he loses. So what are the things that he wants outside of shogi?
Right.
I think he wants others near him, or he wants to be wanted.
Sure.
Or needed. And that correlates to having people be around to tell you that, you know, those kinds of things, yeah. Oh yeah, Child of God, Part 3. Were they in a corner like that before?
I believe so. And the idea that this kid's younger than him,
yeah. He's like, oh, I knew it. They're going to bond over their desire to be professional sports players at their specific arenas, you know? Yes, awesome. I knew it. Oh, gotcha. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Whoa.
Yep.
He's right, though. He's right. That's a connection.
Asking those precision questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thinking is a free action.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might kill his dreams right here if you say the wrong thing, like, or at least kind of dissuade him a little bit. Oh. Yeah, because that was kind of honest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the blush betrays his honesty, you know?
Yep.
And maybe some of the dishonesty in there, you know? That he's hiding other things, you know? Oh.
Yeah.
This kid's smart.
Yep. And by coming to him and seeking wisdom, he's actually giving wisdom. Yeah.
Oh! Now is he gonna run away?
I need to use the bathroom.
Okay, so she used the bathroom. Gotcha. You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
Yeah. I love it.
What the heck? I can see Ty. Oh. And this music. I don't think we've ever heard this music before.
Positive.
Yeah. Hey, he found his fire to go after it again.
Yep.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
Yep.
Oh, is he here? He's here, isn't he? Yep, here he is, here he is. Oh, yeah. Mama is hungry. Must feed. Work, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Less is more. Less is more.
Less is more, exactly. No, she doesn't. Hey, someone said dinner! Yes. Senpai! He calls the one cat Senpai! Looks like she lost. Mega tasty! Oh my gosh. Got affected by it. Oh! Oh.
That looks so good!
The lights, the sky, everything is beautiful!
What did you say? It doesn't matter. Yes.
Botero! Oh, of course he does. Too late. He's like, I'm out. Yes, he is big. Oh, cool. They're friends. Nice. Wow, and they title him with the Fit Dan bit. Seems like he lost. We found out eventually it was a mistake. Dang. That's so wholesome though. Look at Momo, she's in love. She's just like, look at this big Bodoro just talking to me on the television. He's like, oh. Yeah. They are. Yes, hope for the generation. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, wants to be wanted, wants needs to be needed, you know?
Yeah. Color starts to bleed into the whole shot.
And this is where he was in the very beginning when the girl was saying, "You're zero," you know? He was underneath the bridge looking in the same direction. Yes, probably. Good call. Got your pieces.
気軽に扱ってもらえるように輸入とかよくこぼすし。
Yes. Water of life, meow!
Yeah, yeah.
あと一応図解とかあった方が。二階堂。
Why does he look so chibi? Why does he look so chibi?
これか。
Indeed.
で、誰に教えるんだい？
よろしくお願いします。
こちらこそよろしく。
Oh.
大丈夫。難しそうに見えるけど、始めるのは意外に簡単なんだよ。これはひなちゃんのせいじゃなく、すべて教えた人間の責任。
He's doing such a good job of everything.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
シンプルに説明。20枚ずつのコマを使いながら
Oh
相手の
no.
王様を捕まえるゲームです。先に指す人が先手、横の列を段。
Cool.
通常横を
Okay.
三要素で
Cool. Yeah.
マス目には一つずつで、
Yep.
次は
Yep.
一つ一つの型で
I'm
す。
following.
だよ桐山。もうひなくん。やっぱり難しいかも。って顔になっているだろう。なると緊張して頭に入る。
She's still at White Goes Second. Play a game slowly.
ももくんが説明しよう。
Of course. Okay.
一緒に見よう。はい。
Oh my gosh.
ゲームはこの9
Cool, cool.
手前の3
So a
段
little
が
bit more than chess instead of
向
8
こう
by
3
8.
段が相手の
二階堂。お前すげえよ。なんだろう。
Exclusion. Yes.
That's right.
This is the new ending? A pseudo 3D like nya nya like cat shogi.
I totally forgot
What?
about this. I totally forgot about this.
Oh my gosh. I'm losing brain cells and age at like the same time. Like it's beautiful.
At least there's no blood and violence.
Right, right. It's actually kind of teaching the game a little bit.
Yes.
They're correlating the move sets by each piece with regards to which piece it represents on the board, and that when a piece dies, it goes into some kind of repository on the
For the
side.
other side,
For the
yeah.
other side, yep, exactly. All I'm hearing is nya 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 shogi. Okay.
I forgot
All
about
right.
that ending.
That ending. Oh my god. But also this episode. This episode was really good.
Wasn't it?
Okay,
It was
so
awesome.
so here's
Yeah.
the thing. Here's the thing that's really good about this episode that I think that's criminally like underused in other shows. Is that you'll have the character that comes in
Yeah.
that doesn't have any context to the main character other than a connection to someone else.
Sure.
So they have the vaguest connection to them. You know, at least 2 degrees of separation.
Right.
They come in and they have no real knowledge of the exact situation that the main character is dealing with in terms of their internal conflict. But they
Yes.
end up saying things in such a specific way that it causes that character to think about their situation in a whole new light. The other character is blissfully unaware of
Yep.
what's actually
Of just
going
how
on.
profound what they said was and how it might change this person's life. But
Right. But the thing is that sometimes they'll do that where the character that's brought in to give the unintentional wisdom has no setup, no build-up, or anything to that. And in this case, it's the perfect setup because like it makes sense. It actually makes sense with who this character is and what he wants and what he's doing.
Right.
So-
And it also allows for great interactions in the future, considering that you're building a
Huge.
connection between the the love interest of Hina-chan and the main character, which then causes there to be more opportunities for Hina and this strapping young middle
also-
schooler to interact.
Also, he gets a new friend. Like, like
Yeah.
the whole thing I said in the beginning of at what point did I say he needs to be needed, he needs to be wanted?
Oh yeah,
Was that during the opening?
I think that might have been during the opening. Yeah.
Yes, because they had recapped us on the bit
Of not liking to lose, but not really wanting to win.
Exactly. And then him having these half-assed efforts, essentially, going through everything.
Yep.
And I was like, wait, I think what we're getting at here is that he needs something, but he's not really aware of his own needs, maybe.
Yes,
and
he doesn't take good care of himself.
Exactly.
As Mikado put it so eloquently.
So he needed to be wanted, needed to be needed, and they did literally both of those in this episode by having Takahashi something.
Tall boy,
tall good boy, tall baseball boy, ball boy. Ball boy here is saying that, like, I actually like am inspired a little bit by you because you were able to make this decision so early on.
Yep.
So I'm going to be going and making a decision myself in high school as to, like, direct the future of my life, and that's huge. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
I love also that his dad was one of the people that was like being good about it. There wasn't an aspect of look at you and how you're not measuring up to this kid. It was, hey, draw inspiration from this kid.
Yeah, if he can do it, so can you.
If he can do it, so can you. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff. And that's saying nothing about what happens later, where he ends up actually teaching. Well, he doesn't successfully do it, but
he tries.
Hina asks him to teach her about shogi.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff that was like development for Rei as a character this episode, but there was also a lot of good stuff that was just good, wholesome, fluffy stuff. And not like fluffing out the episode, but like the wholesome, fluffy stuff that is part of what helps Rei on his healing process. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely amazing. It is. So much warm and fuzzy feelings.
Totally. And then when they end up kind of having the thank you so much for helping me out with this and stuff. I'd like to keep in contact with you. There's the clever thing of it blending in with Hina's crush on him, and they just have their thank you like at each other. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But the visuals that they use to show that the light's going all around for Kiriyama as he realizes that if he was a little bit more vulnerable, if he didn't have his guard down, essentially, he would burst out crying.
Yeah.
That's too real, because here's the thing. People that end up helping you along in life, like just end up being really positive influences in your life, generally come from people that are close to you,
Sure.
It just generally comes to happen. Because you end up being vulnerable enough to let them in, to let them know about things that are going on, so that they can actually help you.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is that there are these weird times where strangers, I mean, this guy's ball boy is not like a total stranger. There's
he knows about Rei at the very least, and degree of separation is only one.
Yeah, exactly. But up until this point, he was basically a stranger.
Yep.
So,
but he's not anymore.
So, how many times do you think there have been in life where you've basically said something positive to a person? No idea who they are. They could be anyone. But you actually change their life because you said that positive thing. Because not even you said something positive, but you just engaged them as a human being.
Right. I don't know from the standpoint of the things that I've said, but I know from the standpoint of strangers and things that they've said that have changed me.
Yep.
There have been a lot.
So many.
Too many to count.
Ask someone that's had, a good 40, 50, 60 years in their life, just interacting with others and stuff like that, and they'll tell you some stories. Oh my gosh. Because these are the kinds of things that you don't forget. Now, what's helpful here is that there's going to be a relationship that develops, a friendship and stuff over the course of time because of the connection with Hina. And I like that there, one, we think about the world. This world feels a little bit bigger, but also it feels a little bit more connected because now the characters that are, or that were going to be potentially just kind of that love interest character now have so much more meaning than that. And it basically says that in this show, we don't just do one-dimensional side characters. Everyone is tied into the main storyline as a whole in some way.
And more importantly, this is kind of basically just another way of saying that, but they could have had Ball Boy just be a tangential character off of Hina. right?
Yeah.
Never interacts with any of the others and all that stuff. And they could do that, and there wouldn't be a problem with that because he wouldn't necessarily have a reason to interact with the other characters.
Right.
But it makes him feel like way more of an actual person when they show that, yes, he does exist, he does interact with other people that he you wouldn't have expected him to have a reason to interact with. Which is fantastic because it gives this idea of like permanence, like object permanence or character permanence, where a lot of the times one of the reasons that I will have problems with episodic types of storytelling is there will be these characters that will be brought in for an episode and then they'll disappear and they'll be gone and never again to be seen again. But if they interact with these characters, you'd expect there to be some sort of connection that is formed, and there to at least be some points where they are brought back up in the series. But of course that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
But here, not the case.
Yeah, not the case. Yeah, we're in a linear storytelling format where we can utilize this character in ways that go beyond just developing specific characters that are connected to Hina, but also then developing different kind of set pieces within the storyline where Hina and Rei can both be in very, very different states when they're interacting with Ball Boy here. By the way, I love that I just want to call him Ball Boy from now on because Ball Boy just seems great. He's just such a boy. He's just a good boy. He's wholesome Ball Boy. The cats were MVPs this episode. I gotta say,
were fantastic.
There were so many hilarious moments with the cats. Yeah, I got to say, but like they were fantastic. There were some really funny parts.
Yeah.
I also really liked their use of kind of making the background be all shiny. I already said this already with what they did with the Rei, but they did this also with Hina. They did this, I think, with the cats as well. They did this with when Hokkaido?
Or Nikaido?
Yeah, when he comes up on the TV screen and it was like, oh, Botaro!
Yeah, Botaro!
I just love that also Momo has consistently kept the nickname of Botaro.
Yep.
Even though she probably has heard his name already. Doesn't matter. To her, he is Botaro.
That's right. And the whole thing of them being like, wait a minute, you're on TV?
Yeah, that was something I think I missed. I thought it was assumed, actually, that since he lived by himself and he plays shogi, so much.
Right, he might... Well, that's
he was a professional player and they knew it all this time.
Well, the thing is that I think that's one of those things that shows how reserved he's been with them, even so, is that they didn't know he was a professional player. They knew he played shogi, at a club, right? But, like, how little he had actually told them about his life.
Yeah.
And now it's actually starting to be, brought into the light.
Yeah, Jacob, we won't have to deal with that ever. I'll already tell you guys there was a funny story. I was at Frisbee about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And I was playing, and there's this specific version I was playing. There's a little bit more intense and stuff, and there's this guy who is new there. And I'm going to take a bit of a stretch break and drink some water. And the guy looks at me and goes, "Wait, are you the YouTube guy?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, you do Berserk videos, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "All right, cool. Well, I love them. Keep it up." And he just ran away and went to go back to play. I was like, "Okay, all right, that was." Whatever.
Stop it.
Yeah. But that's a very real thing, and I totally understand his desire to keep it secret. But also, what's very important to bring up though is that they are basically his family.
Right.
So, like, on some level, he should eventually feel comfortable to be able to tell them at least things that he's doing in a positive light, since there's nothing negative about this here.
But the natural extension of that is, I would assume that they would be, if he comes to the point where he has to basically process all the things that he's gone through, right? I would assume that it wouldn't be with Nikaido.
No.
It wouldn't be with Bodoro.
Probably
so not. This is, hopefully this is the precursor to that, or the
precursor to what?
To basically him being able to open up more about, be more open about himself and his life and everything with them.
Yes, I think that this portion in the story, this episode, taught him that he can be vulnerable with them.
Right.
And there's really cool things that can come of that. The bit of the grandpa knowing the secret, though, that was kind of funny, because I think that also means that on some level maybe Akari knows the secret as well, and it was just Hina and all them that they weren't telling.
Right.
There's a possibility that Akari doesn't know, but I would assume she does. She was
smart.
the one that met him first,
This is true. Yeah.
So there's that. The other big thing is, when you teach someone something, any kind of skill or what have you, there's an element of you learning something about yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
And whenever you teach someone something, you end up learning more than they do.
Right.
And if there was anyone in this story that needs to learn a lot, it's Kiriyama, because he has so much stuff wrapped up inside that him being put into a position where he has to exposit, essentially, he has to bring from within himself something out to others. There's a whole lot of translated stuff on the way.
Yep.
And I like that Nikaido is going to show him the right way to do it. But what I also like is that he's probably still going to do it. And I think that specifically Hina will ask him about more things like that. And on another level, that's just more things for him to talk about with them. And that gets him talking more, which overall is good.
One of the things that I totally forgot that happens this episode is the whole thing of him having his outburst, at the TV. And then being like, Lucky, that's the first time I've ever seen you, what I can't remember the exact
raise your voice.
Yeah, raise your voice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. He probably has a negative association with raising voice anyway, so him doing it in this way and then getting positively reinforced by it, meaning that your passion is something that we actually feel good about, is so good.
Right.
I will tell you,
we care about your feelings.
Yes, but even the raw feelings, like the feelings that are unfiltered, the messy ones. One of the things that's really been good for me about this whole channel, essentially, has been that it's a vehicle for me to be real with raw, messy feelings. And one of the things that I think that everyone needs is some kind of outlet for raw, messy feelings. And that's healthy. That's healthy. Like, too many people, I think, spend so much time putting filters on their feelings that they equate feelings to be bad because they need to be filtered, which is like, what?
Well, case in point, Ray exists, right? He very much bottles up his feelings. Is Ray healthy?
No, not at all. And I love that Nikaido called him out on that. Over television, on the NHK Cup. Which is like, I would outburst at him too. I would be pretty mad as well. I'd be like, bro, 1, we're not best friends. 2, what the hell? But I love also that, like, Ray had never seen this. Like, he hadn't seen this.
He had no idea that this had happened.
Like, he didn't, like, let's just turn off the VCR. If anything...
Yeah, he was just wanting them to not know that he was actually, like, a pro that, would be on TV and stuff. But
which I find amazing. But you know what's actually the other thing, again, that's really depressing here? Nikaido is telling him to take care of himself. Nikaido is the one that potentially
projecting
is dying.
Much.
Projecting much, like, a lot. Because on some level, Nikaido is at the mercy of his own body. He can take action to make it better.
And his butler is absolutely making sure that those things do happen.
Right. But there's only so much he can do, and after a certain point, he just has to trust and also, just believe. So,
is this a good move or a bad move? We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, but it's also really cool here. They're teaching us the game finally, and as both pretty accomplished chess players, we should be able to understand at least the gist of the game, and maybe be able to incorporate some tactics once we understand the moves of each individual piece.
Now, the fact that each individual piece has a different Japanese character for the name,
but pattern matching, where it starts on the board is going to be the same every single time.
Right.
We'll be able to infer a couple things here and there, and then there's probably just a row of pawns anyway. So
probably that probably will make things easier.
And maybe they'll use these these cat images in order to like be like, oh, yeah, to
Yeah, well, I mean, they already showed like how One Piece moves. The five, the three,
five
and then the sides, and then the one directly
and
behind.
then behind, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, this is a fun episode. This is a really good episode. Extremely
so
wholesome
wholesome.
episode.
Oh, yeah.
Very good feelings, and I love that wholesome ball boy is now kind of one of the crew, and he has access to the house of
The wholesome
house of
house.
wholesomeness. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full length reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, where you can chat with us about stories or just whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.